Hey everyone, and welcome to a new documentary. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and sometimes complex topic: demographics. Specifically, we're looking at the 10 U.S. states with the highest percentages of white residents. We're going to use these statistics as a jumping-off point to explore the history of these states, the cultural and economic factors that have shaped their demographics, and what it really means to talk about race and identity in America today. It's important to remember that demographics aren't static. They're constantly shifting and evolving, reflecting the larger story of our nation. So buckle up as we take a thought-provoking journey across the United States, exploring the unique stories behind these 10 states. Coming in at number 1 is Maine, the northeasternmost state in the contiguous U.S. With a population that's over 94% white, Maine tops our list. Known for its rugged coastline, picturesque lighthouses, and of course, lobster, Maine has a long history intertwined with its predominantly white European roots. The arrival of English settlers, followed by waves of immigrants from other European nations like Ireland, shaped the state's cultural and racial makeup. Today, Maine's economy relies heavily on industries like fishing, forestry, and tourism, sectors that have historically attracted a less diverse workforce. However, it's crucial to acknowledge that Maine is experiencing a slow but steady increase in diversity, particularly in its urban centers. This demographic shift prompts important questions about how Maine will navigate its future, balancing its historical identity with its evolving population. Next up, we have Vermont, a state synonymous with rolling green hills, maple syrup, and a strong sense of independence. Vermont boasts a white population percentage of around 94%, placing it closely behind Maine. The arrival of English settlers in the 18th century, drawn by the promise of fertile land, established the foundation for a predominantly white population. Over the centuries, Vermont's rural character and focus on agriculture contributed to a slower pace of immigration compared to more urbanized states. The state has made strides in recent years to attract a more diverse population, but the legacy of its history continues to shape its demographics. As Vermont navigates the 21st century, the question remains: can a state deeply rooted in its predominantly white past embrace a future that reflects a more multicultural America? Coming in at number 3 is West Virginia, a state defined by its rugged Appalachian Mountains' rich coal mining history and a complex social fabric. With a white population percentage of approximately 93%, West Virginia reflects a unique demographic story. Originally part of Virginia, West Virginia broke away and became a separate state during the Civil War, largely due to differing views on slavery. The state's reliance on industries like coal mining, which historically employed a predominantly white workforce, further contributed to its demographic makeup. Today, West Virginia faces economic challenges as the coal industry declines, prompting questions about how the state will adapt and diversify its economy and population. Number 4 on our list is New Hampshire, a state known for its Granite Mountains' picturesque fall foliage and its Live Free or Die motto. With a white population hovering around 92%, New Hampshire presents an interesting case study in demographic trends. Historically, New Hampshire's economy relied heavily on industries like textiles and manufacturing, which attracted waves of European immigrants, primarily from Ireland, in the 19th and early 20th centuries. These immigration patterns contributed to the state's predominantly white population. However, in recent decades, New Hampshire has experienced a slow but steady increase in diversity, driven by factors like a growing tech industry and proximity to more diverse metropolitan areas. As New Hampshire evolves, it faces the challenge of balancing its traditional New England identity with its newfound multiculturalism. Landing in the middle of our list at number 5 is Iowa, a state synonymous with rolling farmlands, cornfields as far as the eye can see, and the first-in-the-nation caucuses. With a white population percentage of around 90%, Iowa's demographics reflect its historical roots in agriculture. The state's fertile soil attracted waves of European immigrants, primarily from Germany and Scandinavia, in the 19th century, establishing the foundation for a predominantly white population. Iowa's rural character and focus on agriculture contributed to a slower pace of diversification compared to more urbanized states. However, in recent years, Iowa has experienced a modest increase in diversity, driven by factors like a growing tech sector in cities like Des Moines and a small but growing immigrant population. As Iowa navigates the 21st century, it faces the challenge of maintaining its agricultural heritage while also embracing its growing multiculturalism. Coming in at number 6 is Wyoming, a state defined by its vast open spaces, majestic mountains, and a rugged, independent spirit. With a white population hovering around 90%, Wyoming's demographics reflect its history and unique geographic location. Known for its sparse population and rural character, Wyoming has historically attracted a less diverse population compared to more urbanized states. The state's economy, heavily reliant on industries like energy extraction, agriculture, and tourism, has traditionally drawn a workforce that reflects its predominantly white population. However, even in Wyoming, the winds of change are blowing. As Wyoming moves forward, it faces the challenge of preserving its unique character while also creating a more welcoming and equitable environment for all its residents. At number 7, we have Montana, a state renowned for its breathtaking scenery, from the towering peaks of Glacier National Park to the rolling plains of the east. With a white population percentage of around 89%, Montana's demographics reflect its history and rugged, independent spirit. Like many Western states, Montana's history is intertwined with the displacement of Native American tribes and the arrival of European settlers, primarily in the 19th century. The state's economy, historically reliant on industries like mining, agriculture, and ranching, attracted a predominantly white workforce. However, Montana is experiencing a gradual demographic shift, with a slow but steady increase in diversity in recent years. As Montana evolves, it faces the challenge of balancing its strong Western identity with its newfound multiculturalism. Coming in at number 8 is Kentucky, a state famous for its bluegrass music bourbon distilleries and the iconic Kentucky Derby. With a white population standing at about 88%, Kentucky's demographics reflect its complex and often contradictory history. As a border state during the Civil War, Kentucky's legacy is marked by both its Southern heritage and its ties to the Union. The state has long grappled with issues of race and inequality, and its demographics reflect this ongoing struggle. While Kentucky's population remains predominantly white, the state has experienced a modest increase in diversity in recent years, driven by factors like a growing healthcare sector and a small but growing immigrant population. As Kentucky moves forward, it faces the challenge of reconciling its past with its present, creating a more equitable and inclusive future for all its residents. At number 9, we have North Dakota, a state known for its vast prairies, expansive sky, and a strong sense of community. With a white population percentage of approximately 87%, North Dakota's demographics reflect its history and unique geographic location. Historically, North Dakota's economy has been heavily reliant on agriculture, particularly wheat farming and energy extraction, industries that have traditionally attracted a less diverse workforce. The state's rural character and sparse population have also contributed to its predominantly white demographics. However, North Dakota is experiencing a gradual demographic shift, driven in part by a booming oil industry that has attracted workers from across the country and around the world. As North Dakota navigates this demographic transition, it faces the challenge of preserving its strong sense of community, while also creating a more welcoming and inclusive environment for its newest residents. Rounding out our list at number 10 is South Dakota, a state renowned for its iconic Mount Rushmore monument, sprawling Badlands National Park, and a rich Native American history. With a white population percentage of around 86%, South Dakota's demographics reflect a complex interplay of history, culture, and geography. The state's history is marked by the displacement of Native American tribes and the arrival of European settlers, primarily in the 19th century. South Dakota's economy, historically reliant on agriculture and tourism, has traditionally attracted a predominantly white workforce. However, South Dakota is experiencing a gradual demographic shift, with a slow but steady increase in diversity in recent years. As South Dakota moves forward, it faces the challenge of balancing its rich Native American heritage and its predominantly white demographics with its newfound multiculturalism. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of America's 10 whitest states. We've delved into their histories, economies, and the complex factors that have shaped their demographics. But remember, these numbers are just the beginning of the conversation. The trends we've observed in these 10 states, from slow but steady increases in diversity to the challenges of balancing tradition with change, mirror the broader demographic shifts happening across the United States. I hope this documentary has sparked your curiosity about the ever-changing face of America. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep the conversation going.